Hey, Fabbo listeners, episode 53 here. So you're scrolling social media and you're looking at all the wonderful things that are happening for all the other businesses. Look at that photographer. Look at all the likes. Look at all the engagements. Look at all the weddings they're doing. Look at the wedding planner. Look at how busy they are. Look how many weddings they're booking. I want you to stop. Stop comparing yourself to somebody else's 9 squares. Stop comparing yourself to somebody else's business. Stop comparing yourself to somebody else. You are what sets your business apart. You are what makes your business successful. How you serve your clients is how you do you. You are what makes your business Fabbo. That's our topic today. Come right back, turn those earbuds up. We're going into imposter syndrome. This is the Be Fabbo Podcast. Listening to the Be Fabbo Podcast, episodes full of candid conversations that speak to the hard truth that it takes more than hustle and luck to be your own CEO. Being a creative entrepreneur and running a business is not at all like the glam that you see on Instagram or reality TV. The truth is, it's showing up every single day, putting in the blood, sweat, and yes, lots of tears. Oh, do not forget all the hard work. I'm your host, Bobbi Brinkman, photographer, coach, speaker, wedding industry educator, diet Mountain Dew addict. You see why, right? I am hitting the pause on that hustle and luck myth button because it's more than getting a really cute website and hanging a now open sign. Not just waving the magic wand so that all the success, money, and clients will just be lined up ready to hire you. Hope is not a business strategy, my friends. And along with my guests, the goal of our podcast is to motivate, educate, and celebrate creative entrepreneurs discussing topics and information that will help you get and keep you in that CEO mindset through our candid conversations. You're going to hear stories from other creatives at different stages along their career journey. They'll be sharing the same struggles you have, as well as business insights, tools, and foundations that they have in place to keep their businesses moving forward, no matter what kind of SHIT tries to knock you off your career path. I want to challenge you to unapologetically keep showing up to attract your ideal clients, serve them in the most Fabbo way while collecting a purpose-driven paycheck. I want to empower you to create a career that you not only love and are proud of, but also one that your clients love and will support even more. Now let's get started. All right, guys, I'm coming to you today with something that's heavy on my heart. I've had 3 or 4 coaching students that I've been working with past couple weeks, and I'm hearing over and over again, Bobbi, I'm not as good as XYZ, or XYZ is doing all this and booking weddings and booking portraits. And I got to tell you, it stings my heart a little bit that everybody is feeling this way. And maybe it's COVID, maybe it's just because you're not out working regularly, doing what you do, and you're losing your mojo. And I want you to get your mojo back, and that's part of the reason I love coaching, and that's why we have Fabbo chats that are available for that 1 hour kick in the butt to remind you that you're Fabbo. But when I get 3 or 4, coaching students all at once that are having this issue, I feel I have to keep reminding you, and it's my duty to remind you, because I am your business cheerleader. I am your cheerleader, whether you have $1 in the bank or you have $1 million in the bank. I'm going to cheer you on the same, because I want you all to treat everybody the same and be seen as somebody who will serve everybody at all levels and be able to provide them a service. And that's what you can do. Whether you have $1 in the bank or $1 million in the bank, it's you. Hear me, everybody. It's you that set your business apart. It's you that makes your business what it is and the way that somebody wants to invest in. People will buy from a lot of people, and people will have the opportunity to purchase photography or wedding photography from a lot of different people. But it's you and how you do it and the experience that you offer them from that first moment they click onto your website, whether they're coming to you from social media, however they get to your website, or how even they connect with you. It's how you treat them to get them to call you. So every little thing that you do on Instagram is setting up the tone and setting up a reason for somebody to get to know you. Now, everybody seems to get hung up on these 9 squares and, oh, look what so-and-so is doing. I want you to remember that the 9 squares are 9 squares. They're not reality. They may not be truth. They may be exaggerated. They may be nothing. Right now in the world of COVID, I'm telling you right now, I haven't had a ton of weddings, but I'm not going to stop posting about weddings and why I love them and why I do them. So I shifted my posting, reminding everybody that small weddings have value too, and that I'm willing and able to stand by my words of everybody's love story deserves to be told. That all couples deserve, big or small, dogs, no dogs, just the two of you or 15 people. I'm privileged to photograph that and deliver to you these memories. So when you're on social media and you're posting, then be posting about what you want to be doing and let those people see a little bit about you, because it is you that they're investing in. It's you that will set yourself apart from the competition. I don't care if you have 10,000 followers. I don't care if you have 50. The followers, you've all heard me say before, followers and likes are not paying your bills. It's clients that come in, purchase your services, that allow you to share your gifts with them, that will be paying your bills. That's how you'll build a sustainable career, by consistently showing up and doing the work. And let those people that invest in you be your cheerleaders. Let them help you shout. Social media is wonderful. We're going to engage in social media. We need social media. We need to drive everybody to our website so they can learn a little bit more about what we do and how we do it. But I want you to remember that it's you'll be setting yourself apart because you're not going to be looking like everybody else. And I use the word competition a lot, like everybody else does. And competition is not a bad word. Remember, you've heard me say it again thousands of times on this podcast. And if you've heard me speak anywhere, you know I always drive this point home. Competition just means that what you're doing is needed. There is a need for it. So there's a lot of us photographers. And let's face it, guys, everybody right now is a photographer. Everybody is a photographer. Everybody has cell phones. Everybody has a way to communicate via the cell phone. Everybody has a way of taking photos. So I want you to remember that it's okay to start exactly where you are. Do what you know how to do best, wherever you are right now in this stage. If you're struggling a little bit, let's figure out the struggles. Let's figure out why you're having some roadblocks. Get outside of your head. Know that what you do matters and that you have a purpose, that you've got to take some risk, that if something isn't working, quote, in your mind, does not mean it's not working. It's just taking time. But if you're feeling frustrated and struggling, then let's be brave enough to step out and try something new. You got to be brave enough to suck, guys. You got to be brave enough to try. You got to be brave enough to fail. And that's what we want you to do. You have to believe in yourself. And if that means you need to go out and get a mentor or a coach, I'm all about that. There's coaching levels for everybody. There's mentors for everybody. Whether you choose me or one of the other amazing, talented coaches that are out there that want to help you in the business area to grow your business, then reach out to them. You know, I tell everybody, I'm not going to teach you how to be a better photographer. I'm not going to teach you f-stops and shutter speeds. I'm going to help you with business. I'm going to remind you that you're Fabbo. I'm going to remind you, just like I'm doing right now, that what you do and what you bring is what sets you apart. And above all, you always have to believe in yourself, that you do not always need to have outside validation. When a client pays you for your work and a client hires you, that is validation that they believe in you. Now, don't let that get you a big head. But that's going to allow you to pay a bill right now and give you the motivation to keep going. And because that client validated what you're doing by investing in you, go out and show up and give them all of you. Leave everything at the wedding. Leave everything at the session. Whatever you're photographing, leave it all there. And I want you to remember that you're going to go out and do this, and you're starting from a place of joy, and you're starting from a place of love, and that it is going to be a long, bumpy journey. And you're going to have mountains that drop in your way. Let's figure out how to move around them. Figuring out how to do that means sometimes stepping back and saying, okay, this isn't working, but I'm not trying to keep up with Susie Jones, or I'm not trying to keep up with Steve Photography over here. What is it that's going to move you forward? You know, I've been doing this for a long time, you guys, and you guys all know that. And the way I built my business is by relationships. I want to have people around me on the wedding day team that will elevate not just myself, but my couple, so that we can elevate everybody. And it's hard. There are days that I think, man, this is, or wedding's going to get back to a point that I can serve them to the way that I've always been serving them. And the answer is probably no. So I had to readjust. I had to rethink how I was going to serve my clients to the best ability, but I haven't stopped showing up. I really try not to dive in too deep in Instagrams. I applaud what everybody else is doing, and everybody has to do what they need to do to take care of themselves. We don't know the stories behind those nice squares, everybody. We don't know that they may be really trying to get more work because they need to pay some bills. We don't know that they may be really trying to shift and do something different because they're bringing on a team member. We don't know the stories. And that's in business or not. No matter what Instagram or 9 Squares you follow, you don't know the story behind there. But embrace the story they're showing you. Applaud the people for showing up. Applaud them for being out there and talking about whatever it is they're talking about. I want you guys to continue doing that. I want you guys to keep telling yourself that what you're doing right now is important and it will help you grow. I want you to get over the imposter syndrome. And man, it is so easy to fall into that right now. I've been guilty of it a few times in my career, guys. Well, you're never going to hear me lying to you here. I'm authentically honest and open. There's been times years ago where I thought, man, can I really make it here? Can I, as a gay photographer, really make it in the wedding industry? There are people to this day, guys, in 2020 that still stop people from wanting to come to work with me or will not work with me because of my sexual orientation. I have to keep believing that what I do is what I do, and that what I do matters, that I have value to bring all my couples. I can't get hung up on the why somebody doesn't want to work with me and why they did not choose me. I choose to let that go. And I want you guys to let that go. Just because a client did not book you does not mean you are not worthy, that you are not doing something right. It just means that there's something better coming along. And I firmly believe that. When you get a no, it's an open opportunity for a yes to come down the door. When a client tells you no, we're going in a different direction, you get that dreaded email, that just means there's another better direction coming for you, that there is another opportunity that is coming your way. And I want everybody to remember that that's just part of being able to create more opportunities for yourself. So continue working on what you're working on, maybe tweaking a little bit, but don't get so hung up on what everybody else is doing. I look at Instagram and say, oh my gosh, look at what this is happening. Look at these new elopement packages. This is wonderful. I'm so happy for that business and that studio that they are finding a way to continue to grow their business. You got to dig deep and figure out what that looks like for you. And you have to continue to find the joy. You have to remember why you started and why you wanted to be behind the camera, be an entrepreneur. Nobody told you along the way it was going to be easy. There is no guarantees in life that it's going to be easy. We have to create those opportunities for ourselves. And we have to find those opportunities at different venues and different avenues and different ways to reach our clients and to reach our ideal clients. Revamping your website, reworking your social media, taking a look back and saying, hey, I don't really want to shoot that way anymore. Or maybe my ideal client has changed. And maybe that's a lot of it. Maybe a lot of it is that you have to figure out exactly what you want to do and how you want to do it. And try not to tie your worth to an outcome. I mean, I don't want you to sit here and say, I have not booked the last 3 couples who have come to me and think that you're a failure. I want you to know that you are doing your best, and do not allow the results of somebody not hiring you define you, because you can't control those. You can have the most beautiful website. You can have the most curated Instagram squares, guys. Does not mean every client's going to hire you, and that is okay. You do not need to be the photographer or the creative business person, whatever you're offering, for every client. It's okay, and you won't be. The sooner you realize that you are not for everybody, you will feel much better about yourself, and you'll stop kicking yourself and feeling bad about yourself. Now, I want you to be open to everybody, and I want you to work with everybody, but that does not mean you are the right person for everybody. You got to get rid of the could've, would've, should've's. I want you to let that go. Client not choosing you does not value or define who you are or how good you are. There are valuable business lessons that we can learn in these failures along the way. We might make some misjudgments on purchasing equipment. We might have invested in a piece of gear that just didn't work right. And don't think for a minute that a piece of gear is going to change how you photograph. It may make you feel better and give you more confidence, but to the core, it's still a tool, and your creativity, your heart, and your mind is what captures those photos for you. I want you to separate yourself from the outcome. If somebody isn't booking you, I want you to separate the fact that you did not fail. You just weren't right for them. And they did you a favor. I firmly believe they did you a favor. I want you to know that you are worthy and valuable and very important. And it's you that sets your business apart. I don't want you to keep looking at what other people are doing. I don't want you to keep looking at how they're booking left and right. I want you to watch them. I want you to be friends with them. I want you to extend community and grace and hold space for them. We as a community in a wedding industry have got to continue supporting each other now more than ever. So build that core team that you want to work with and that you work with for the right reasons. Build that core team that together you can all move forward together, that you're helping each other out. Find that community, find your tribe. I'm always here. Grab a Fabbo chat with me. The links are in the show notes. I offer special rates for our listeners. And let's chat for an hour. We'll get on Zoom and we'll talk through whatever you need. You can just vent for an hour. You can ask me anything you want. I'm an open book. But find a way, if you're stuck, to help get unstuck. I don't want you to keep beating yourself up because you just feel like you're spinning your wheels and you can't get anywhere. And I just want you to know that when normal comes back in the wedding industry, whatever that's going to look like, it's going to come screaming back. And I want you to be ready. I want you to get ready for booking 2021. I'm going to have future podcasts on that, and we're going to come back and talk about that. But today's episode, I just want you to hear, do not tie your worth to a couple saying no to you. Do not tie your worth to a vendor saying, I don't want to work with you for this wedding, or I'm sorry it didn't work out. Do not tie your worth and your value and your contributions to this community to a no. Continue looking for the opportunities for a yes. Do whatever you can do. Keep being you. Keep showing up. I keep reminding you, show up, show up, show up. Show up in a way that people get to know you. Show up in a way that people are going to go, that's why I want to hire you. That's what I want people to do. That's who I want to invest in, because only you can do what you do. There are a million wedding planners out there. There's a million florists out there. There's a bazillion photographers out there. Only you can deliver the service that you deliver, and the heart in which you deliver it is from your soul. Only you can do that. Nobody else can do that for you. Nobody else can do that for you. And I know that we all have individual struggles, and that we all have heartbreaks, and that we all have to deal with life in general, and being a business owner is just one more thing. But I know that if we take some time and don't spend all of it on social media and looking at our smartphones or looking at other people's blogs and feeling left out and feeling defeated, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Do not compare yourself to them. Learn from them. Reach out for guidance from them. But do not let them define who you are. I come at you today because that's heavy on my heart, because I'm hearing so many people that are reaching out to me on these Fabbo chats. And I love taking these calls with them. But that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that they are just so upset because they're not moving forward fast enough. And you guys, you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. This is exactly where you're supposed to be right now. This is the opportunity to make some changes, some shifts. But to the core of it, remember why you started. Maybe you got too far off track. Maybe you were trying to do so many weddings and so many big weddings that you lost that extra oomph you were bringing. And you lost that spark. So let's get that back. maybe you need to go do and start sharing on social media and showing up that small weddings are your new jam, that's where your heart is and that's where your focus is going to be. Let's get you ready for 2021 and let's focus on what it is that you bring, that awesome fabbleness of yourself that you bring to your couples and your clients. Let's focus on that. Okay, the stumbling blocks. Get yourself. Do not let yourself be the stumbling block. Do not work on the fact that you cannot work because you're stopping yourself. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Start right now. Start at this moment and realize that the privilege to work is a gift and that the power to work is a blessing and that no matter what you do, you are successful. Success is defined how you want success to be defined. You guys hear me preach that over and over and over. And that is what I want you to do. Organize your business. Have a plan for your business. Motivate your business. Set goals, set dreams. Put it down on paper. When you put it down on paper and you name it, you do it. When you give it a name, you take action on it. I want you to stop worrying about the imposter syndrome. I want you to remember that you need to be one of your biggest fans. When somebody says to you, what's one of your favorite photographers? You better somewhere on the list have yourself. Now that's not being cocky or conceited. That is believing in yourself. You have to be your biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan. I'm your biggest cheerleader. That's why I love the coaching side. That's why I love the education side. I want us all to succeed by whatever definition you want to succeed. But you have to also be your own cheerleader, and you have to get out of your own way. I want you to write your own headline. I want you to write, Susie Q is doing this right now. I want you to come up with that mission statement. I want you to come up with that narrative. What it is that you do, who do you serve, and why do you serve them? Start back at the beginning and remember what you do is valuable, who you serve is valuable, how you serve them is valuable, and those things are done because of who you are, not somebody else on Instagram. Don't try to impersonate somebody else on Instagram. I want you to write your own headline. I want you to write your own book title. I want you to be in charge of your path and your journey. I want you to keep going. When you get stuck, it's often an underlying fear of something. What's that fear? Often, especially in these last weeks in these coaching calls, it's the fear of the imposter syndrome. You don't feel worthy of other people you're seeing on social media right now. When everybody at weddings is supposed to be shut down and not doing anything, we think the whole community, the industry, should be falling apart. And you see those 8 or 9 or 10 or 20 people that are out there posting, I had a wedding this weekend. Oh my gosh, I just booked 5 people. Do not be threatened by that. They are doing what they need to do for their business, and how they're doing it is how they're doing it. So figure out a way to do it your way. Continue working on how you want to work weddings. If you, again, we go back to, if you want to be an elopement photographer, be an elopement photographer. If you want to do the 500 weddings, do 500 weddings. If you want to do the big weddings, start showing up on social media saying what it is that you would like to do. You can be positive on social media. Don't even post weddings if you don't want to, but show up on social media so that people still see that you're present and that you're here. By all means, I've taken a break. I don't post nearly as much right now because I just don't feel that it's the time to be shouting a lot of things, but I also believe it's a time to be heard. But sometimes being quiet is actually louder, and there's a lot of noise out there right now. So don't let that noise get in your way or devalue anything that you're doing. That underlying fear of being stuck is often yourself. Imposter syndrome happens to the best of us. And I just want you to take this few moments, sit with yourself after you get done listening to this, and just hold space for yourself. And I want you to hold space for yourself that what you're doing is good, and that you deserve to be in this industry, and that things will move forward. Maybe slower, maybe faster, but you're going to be okay. And you're going to be okay because you are your business. You are what set your business apart. You are what people will invest in. You will be the reason that success comes your way, whatever you want to define it. It's often said that some people really dream of success and other people get up every morning and they make it happen. So you can sit there and keep looking at social media, wondering what they're doing and wanting to be in those 9 squares, or you can show up and start making waves and start making things happen that define you. Do what you do and let that define you. Be responsible for what you're doing and your actions, and then let that define you. But if somebody doesn't want to book in you, that is not anything remotely have to do with your value. It just wasn't the fit. Now, maybe you need to change a little bit of what you were doing so that person reached out to you to begin with. That can be a whole nother podcast. And we have plenty of podcasts available with other guests that have shared on that. That's what I want you to do. Take a few moments after this podcast and just sit and hold space for yourself and know that you are Fabbo. That you are what makes this industry even better. That you deliver exceptional customer service to your clients in only the way that you know how to do it. Nobody can do what you do the way that you do it. Okay? Let the podcast go here. Hold some space for yourself. Give yourself some grace. And again, I'm here, guys. I'm not pitching my Be Fabbo chats, but I'm here for you. Go to the show notes, grab one of those chats, and let's continue the conversation. If I can be of service to you and I can help you get unstuck, I'm here for you. So remember, you are what sets your business apart. You are what makes your business different. Nobody can do what you do. Until next time, everybody, remember, you are Fabbo and I'm cheering you on. Have an absolutely amazing rest of your day.
For more information about today's show, check out the show notes on the Be Fabbo blog at bobbibrinkman.com. Along with some offers for our listeners, you'll also find information about how to work with Bobbi as a coach, a speaker, or for workshops. She'd love to collaborate with you. Oh, and don't forget, subscribe to the podcast to keep motivation coming to your earbuds. Be Fabbo.